What's going on, everybody? Andrew Thompson here of the Andrew Thompson Interviews YouTube channel. I have two very special guests on the channel today. That they are the face of and the person behind the Nail in the Coffin documentary. We have Michael Paszt and Ian Hodgkinson, also known as former WCW and AAA Tag Team Champion Vampiro. Fellas, how you doing today?
Doing real well, man. How are you? Thanks for having us.
No problem. I appreciate you guys taking the time to do this. Michael, firstly, I want to go to you. Like the documentary about Vampiro is clearly like a very straightforward, no-cut cause documentary. It's very open. But were you surprised by the stuff that you learned through the wrestling business about Vampiro? Through Vampiro?
No, not necessarily surprised. I had a good idea of what the business is like. I just think that for me, it was just an awesome opportunity. I'm just very grateful that Ian allowed me, he gave me the trust to film him and follow him around. He didn't want to look at the edits. He didn't want to be involved with any like story, or he didn't want to see the final cut or anything like that. He just said basically just point and shoot and follow me. And I'm just very grateful for that. That was an awesome experience.
And Vampiro, I want to come to you next. One of the key quotes that I saw from the trailer was that it's hard to step away from the wrestling business. Me being a wrestling fan, I don't think that's really anything like shocking or like something that's kind of that can take somebody aback. Just knowing like how difficult it can be, or just how much people love the wrestling business and how hard it can be to step away from it. Like, but as far as you go, like, is it like the roar of the crowd, or is it the just the love and knowledge that you have professional wrestling that keeps you within the bubble and, sort of that you can't step away from it?
Thank you for your question. I hate to use this analogy, but they kind of gravitate to that stuff. If it's alcohol, they still go to bars and they have that one drink. Or if you're consuming other substances, you kind of gravitate towards that crowd. So being that it's been something I've done for so many years, I think what I've discovered is it was an addiction that I didn't know I had. It wasn't that one thing. It was like, this is all I know. This is what I've been doing for 38 years. This is what I'm addicted to. This is where I believe I need to be, even though I didn't understand what I was doing there still. So that was kind of a conflictive thing, but I think the business, the politics, all the bad things, we could talk about that for 6 months. That doesn't mean anything to me. It didn't then, but I do believe that what I love doing more than anything else in the world is the entertainment part, the entrance, that coming out of the curtain and that moment with the fans, that 3 to 4 minutes. That's what I miss the most, and that's what I'm striving to continue to do in other projects. So yeah, that's the tough part.
Well, one of the coolest parts about the trailer that I saw was when your daughter was incorporated to it. Like, would you say that's probably your biggest motivator right there? Like the fact that you want to make sure that her future road is like clear of all obstacles that you can knock out of her way, as she continues to go on in life. Or would you say that's one of your biggest motivators, if not your biggest motivator?
I would say yes, but I don't want to knock anything out of her way. I just want her to understand she's going to fall down and get cut and bloody, and she's got to get back up. And it's okay. And if she looks to the left or to the right, I'll be on either side. That's what I'm hoping.
All right. And Michael,
I was just going to, sorry, just go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was going to say, I think the point of view that I was taking with it was that it's a story of a father and a daughter, and a father's love for his daughter, who just happens to be a professional wrestler, I think that was sort of the perspective. I'm a fan. I grew up watching wrestling. I love it. I would show wrestling throughout, but that wasn't the story that I wanted to tell. I wanted a different perspective, and I wanted to sort of show another side. What, the internet sees Vampiro for one layer or one side. What I wanted to do was kind of peel back the layers and show the other side of him. I think that was very, very important. When we were filming at Triplemania 25, it was very, very important because for me to show that, because he has like 4 or 5 other jobs going on at the same time, and it's wild behind the scenes. For me, it was awesome. Triplemania 25, biggest event of the year, 40,000 people, and it's organized chaos in the back. back room there. And it was awesome. And, but at the end of the day, you kind of have to, stop, like you can look at everything, but the whole idea was just to focus in on following Ian. And, where Ian goes, the drama will follow because he's coordinating everything. And that was something that I just absolutely love that part of filming.
And between you two guys in your respective fields, there's a lot of experience that I know Vampiro has, like, at least 30 years of experience in professional wrestling. And Michael, I know you have 10 plus years of experience, if not more, in producing. Just with this project specifically, the documentary, what is like separated this one from the other projects that you've done, like a Turbo Kid? Like what's the difference between this and those other projects that you have been a part of?
Great question. I think the big thing is that when you make a movie, it's scripted. You shoot for 30 days. You go up, is there a schedule, and then the movie comes out and you're done. Mm-hmm. This is when you make a documentary, you're investing yourself into it. Like you're go all in. And you don't have an ending. You don't have a beginning. You know what I mean? And it wasn't 30 days. It was 3 years of filming. Following. We were lucky because it was two of us that were filming this film. It was myself and the producer / cinematographer. And so we could be very nimble and get around. But I lost my train of thought there. But where I was going. What did I say again?
You were in a boy band, and
talking to the boy band. Yeah.
Well, I think I can finish his sentence. The big difference is, like you said, scripted and non-scripted, but at the same time, it took 3 years, not 30 days. And it took 3 years because we specifically knew that there were events on the calendar that would mean something. Like there was a wrestling match, there was Lucha Underground, there was the Triplemania. So as a filmmaker, I believe your creative energy for 3 years, and to still not lose vision of that story and try to make all these pieces, because people change, things have gone on, we're in different countries, and make it fit. That is an art. So I believe the experience of doing 30-day movies and things like that are scripted prepares you to go into this uncharted territory, because that's exactly what it was. So we had dates, we knew it was going to go down, but we didn't know what was going to happen. So that's also exciting. Nerve-wracking too, right?
Mm-hmm. And Vampiro, you've been just over the past years and throughout your career, you've been very candid, about the trials and tribulations that you've had to overcome in life, whether that be, you've been very open and an advocate for mental health. I know you've also talked about some of the injuries and, concussions that you've been through, and are very open about that stuff, which is greatly appreciated and it's informative. Is there a connection, between that and, more so of the attitude that you take towards life, this kind of effort type thing? I'm gonna live my life. I'm gonna do what I feel like I need to do, and I'm gonna keep pushing forward until I can't push forward no more. Is a a connection between that?
I believe so. I think Mike will agree. I'm at a stage right now where it's not so much I'm going to push forward until I can't push anymore. I've been afforded to have met people like Michael and people through Michael who have said to me, get off of the treadmill of life, slow down, practice self-care so that I can overstand my situation and have a better quality of life by being a brighter light and influencing people the right way. So I'm very fortunate to be at the age I'm at and to kind of recover from my injuries and my illnesses and be afforded the opportunity to learn a new lifestyle so that I can show people how valuable I am as a professional human being. So it's a great time for me right now.
Mm-hmm. And just to get into specifically, getting more into the wrestling business, I should say. One guy who I always kind of I always saw you with a lot, specifically on Lucha Underground, because that's when I first got to see you in wrestling. Because I don't know, but I'm a youngin' man. I started watching wrestling probably 2002. So like anything past like 2008 or 10 is a little foggy to me. But I just wanted to talk to you about Pentagon Jr. Like just to seeing his career trajectory and where he has gone from AAA, and other various promotions, and like the Crash, and him being where he is now in AEW on national television. Like, what has it been like for you to see him have this like uprise, and now he's on national television, millions of people watching him, from their respective homes? Like, what has it been like for you to kind of, see him make this uprise in professional wrestling?
I love that question, and I hope it makes sense what I'm going to say. I pride myself on not taking credit for any of that. I don't like veteran wrestlers who say in my day, or it's because of, or he wrestled with me, so that's why he's famous, or I opened the door for him. That's not true. I was helped when I was younger by a lot of guys that have been around a long time, and I was guided. And that's what we do. That's our job. That's my responsibility. We work on the same show. And if the character I'm portraying in that storyline is going to elevate you, where you can go out and make a better living for yourself and your family, God bless it, and go for it. I'm not responsible. He's talented and charismatic on his own. It just so happens that the match that they say boosted him was with me.
Right.
I would like to say that because of my experience, I was able to not only come out stronger than I was going in, but also elevated another person. So I hope younger wrestlers see that when you do get to that point in your career, your responsibility to the fans and to this industry is to pass the torch, because it doesn't belong to me or any other veteran. It belongs to the fans, and the fans deserve the best. And if what you have can help somebody continue to give the best product, then that's your responsibility. You don't get a pat on the back for that.
Right.
So I won't take it, is what I'm trying to get at.
And Michael, coming back to you, in the
I'm maturing. I don't know what's going on.
What happened?
I said I'm maturing. I'm growing up. I don't know what's going on. I don't like it.
But Michael, just coming back to you, in the trailer, going back to the trailer again, Vampiro talked about, the amount of concussions that he has had, just you forming this relationship with him. Like, what has it been like for you to kind of, see him open up about these things, and, the severity of what he's had to overcome? Have you, has there ever been a chance, like, when you guys have been able to, kind of cut the cameras off and have that kind of one-on-one talking, you kind of voice your thoughts about, what he has been through, and what's next for him, and anything like that of the sort?
I mean, he was very open to it, but he wasn't. And I think that was the interesting aspect of it. When we started filming, I was aware of his history of injuries and all of that. And I wanted to sort of learn more about that. But at the same time, when we started filming, he was hiding a lot of stuff. He was hiding a lot of, injuries and things that were happening to him at the moment. So, even when we saw the doctor later on, and I spoke to the doctor afterwards, and just giving, the menu of injuries and things like that. And when he participated in the film, it was like, for him, it was like, he's like, oh, great, I can put Ian down in the chair and I can give him, crap, because he's not going to get away, and I can tell him to stop wrestling. I have this opportunity. So I think that was kind of a neat thing, to allow these people their chance, their voice, to talk to him, to try to, speak. Well, I didn't talk to him. I can't, it's not my place to sort of, say those things. As a friend, I can sort of say, dude, don't jump off that, rooftop anymore, right? You got to stop, right? But at the time at CBA, I got to step back and let it roll, And one of my favorite parts in the film is when him and Dash are having lunch, and that day was a very important aspect because he wouldn't come out of his house, and I didn't know why. And I said, dude, she's waiting for you. She wants to have lunch. And, basically, we coaxed him out. He came out, had sat there. We filmed for like 2 hours this lunch. Just set the camera up. We tucked away in the corner, and they forgot about us, and they had this amazing conversation. And then when he got up and he left, it was like, oh my God, this is real. This was like, it was how hurt he was, because he'd been hiding it. And it was difficult. It was difficult for me.
And you know, one thing I did specifically want to talk to you about, like I'm real, like really into camera work and production and stuff like that. So like one shot that I really liked that you got was the it was when Vampiro was in the office talking to somebody, and you got the over the shoulder shot, and like the camera like was kind of like it was like shaky, but in a good way. Like it made it seem real, and of course the documentary is real, but like it made it seem more intense and like more in like intact with Vampiro, and I really like that shot. Is that like some like a signature of yours that you like to get in certain type of films?
I mean, there's two of us. Like we didn't have a big budget. We didn't have it's just two of us, right? We had an amazing camera. We had like an amazing, you know, 8K camera. But we have to be nimble. So when you are flying the wall, you have to be able to move. You can't put it on, you can't set the shot up and things like that. So yeah, I love it. I love that type of, you know, raw sort of filming, just, you know, being part of the action and filming and being there and all that. And we got a lot of that in Triplemania 25 as well, behind the scenes there. And that was pretty cool and pretty intense. And just, it's I love that aspect of it being raw.
And you know, you mentioned Triplemania, Vampiro. You know, I know Triplemania had a press conference back in July, and they announced the postponement of this year's Triplemania event. But they did say that they were hoping to have it this year. Have you heard anything further about, you know, the possibility of them running this event? Because I know they did specify that they wanted to hold the event this year, but you know, with everything going on, it's kind of an iffy situation as far as when they would be able to run that event.
I don't see it. I mean, there's too much money involved to do that event, and they rely heavily on sponsors for that. That's one thing. The date's already passed. That's another thing. Fan safety. I mean, even if you put on an event like that, I think it would backfire because the fans would go, but 90% of them would look down on it because you're not playing on the team. The world needs to get better first. So I'm pretty sure. I actually think it's good that the fans have a rest from seeing the same old guys doing the same old thing. The guys are going to come back reinvigorated. I believe that it's a good break, and you'll have a chance to reset everything, and you come up with new graphics, new looks, new music, new storylines, and just come back stronger with a new version of the product. I actually think it's going to be better. If they rushed it and did an event this year just because of their ego, I believe that would be more detrimental than it would be positive for sure.
And you know, you go ahead, Michael.
Oh, sorry to say, I think what's interesting, I think the one thing that I find interesting with the lockdown that really kind of, you're being a fan and I'm a fan, is that it is about the fans. And if there was ever a question about wrestling, is the fan part of the story? Is the fan the other character in the story? We know the answer now because it is the fan. You remove the fans from the equation,
and you get what the hell? What?
You remove the fans, and it's just two guys, sweaty guys, and like it's boring, right? And they react to the fans and all of that, and until we, you know, they're back into it, you know, it's a different, for me. That's my point of view. I don't know. What do you think, man?
I agree with Michael. I mean, if you're a bad guy and good guy, and the bad guy's a dastardly villain, you know, a villain, and it's like, motherfucker, he's standing behind you. Turn around and punch him. It's like, wait, what's going on? You know what I mean? It's like,
right,
come on, man. It's like, okay, we understand. Even me, I get it. It's pro wrestling, and I love it. And I could do it till I die. But the general public aren't stupid. So it's like, me, I don't know, do team competitions, play basketball again, do some other fucking thing. Don't wrestle each other with no people because you look stupid. You really do. I'm going to get you. What the fuck you going to get? Come outside, I'm going to fucking hit you with my car. You know what I mean? It's like, what are you trying to tell me here? I'm a 50-year-old man, and you want me to watch this? I agree with Michael. Without the fans, You know, and as hard as the talent is trying to really get out there and they're working hard and they're taking their bumps, they're doing everything, it sucks so bad, dude. It fucking sucks, man. It really does. It's like The Walking Dead and the zombies don't have makeup on. It's like, that's my neighbor.
Like you can really tell like some of the talents are like kind of struggling a little bit to, you know, get accustomed to it, because it's not, I feel like once fans are able to come back into arenas, I feel like that'll like have it'll be a great
friend. Motherfuckers are getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. They ain't struggling about that.
Well, yeah. You know what I mean. But I mean, like, as far as like, you know,
telling you should know. Like some of the guys I'm sure they're like, fuck.
Yeah. But like,
no, I'm an ass.
But do you time for one more question?
Okay, cool. Lastly, Michael, I just want to go to you here just for this last one to wrap it up here. Like from an executive producer standpoint, like when you see, let's go back to March or April, like at the beginning of the COVID era in the world, and then specifically speaking on professional wrestling, like how would you have like presented a show like that with no fans in the building? Like, would you have tried to like ignore the fact that there were no people in the building, like kind of take the camera away from any outside thing other than the ring? Or would you like have just, you know, open it up and let people see, you know, or not really try to take it away that there's no people in the building? Like, how would you have gone about that if you were producing a show?
Oh man, I got to answer that one. Go ahead.
That's a great question. Man, oh man. I like what they're doing right now, and I think I like immediately when it first kind of happened, I thought about, you know, doing some sort of a thing where you're pumping in like crowd noise, but it's based off of Twitter. I had this whole idea. I was thinking like people were and as you monitor the internet activity. So when everybody's booing a character or just that's going, then the audience, you know, they could pipe that in. They could boo, you know. That was, and I was just thinking like they're controlling like a video game. You know what I mean? They're controlling let the fans control the audience piping. That was what I thought was an idea. But then the new stuff they're doing with Zoom and all that, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and you know, Vampiro, I did want to get your take on this as well, but like just to add in what you said, I know New Japan Pro Wrestling just did that at their Jingu Stadium show. Like they had fans, like they had these like little mobile devices things in the stadium, so fans could like, I guess, like pick and choose like which sound they wanted to like blast over the speakers in the arena. Like if they wanted to boo somebody, you could hit the button and it'll boo, and you want to cheer, you know, stuff like that. So that kind of was just cool how you mentioned that. Vampiro, like cool. Vampiro, on your side, like how would you go about, you know, producing a show like that? Because, you know, we saw you know, WWE, like when they first started, they like filmed it, you know, with the wide shot, and you could see the whole arena, but then of course they turned it around so you just, you know, you would only see basically the ring.
I would have stopped showing wrestling. You're shooting yourself in the foot, because if there's no crowd involvement, you're exposing your talent's weaknesses. A lot of them don't have personalities, and you know what I mean? When they're left to improvise and cover their dead spots on television, you really show that these are just goofs from the gym that don't really know how to speak. You know what I mean? And I'm not insulting anybody in particular, because I was one of those guys. So I would have re-scripted everything, made it a competition behind the scenes, guys in the gym, guys working out, inviting a fan, and have an X Games thing, you know, just bicycle races, obstacle courses. I would have shown another side to the wrestler, and even done a mini series, you know, develop the character. If you're a bad guy and you're a serial killer and running through the bush with an axe, well, show me that you live in the swamps and you eat alligators when they're raw, and, you know, create the need to come back to watch a live event. Don't just put it out there because you need to comply with the contract, because you killed your product. If you want to go back on the road, people are going to go like, yeah, but that guy's, I don't really believe in him anymore. I'm not going to invest emotionally. So, but if you would have showed people as real human beings, washing their dog, running in the park, cooking, grocery shopping, as human beings, there would have been bigger superstars down the line. That's my opinion.
Absolutely. And just quickly to add to that, that's why the docuseries stuff is doing so well on the WWE. The Edge doc, the Undertaker Last Ride doc. I mean, that stuff is great. It's like that, and people are watching that. And
yeah, it's really crazy how they got those ideas after ours came out a year and a half ago. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
It is, folks. Let's just wrap it up here. Michael, any final plugs? The floor is yours. And then after Michael, Vampiro, of course, any social media you want to plug, any further projects, the floor is all you guys.
No, just thanks for having us on the show, and I hope you dig the movie. There's a great Blu-ray coming out near the end of the month. It's got about an hour of extras in it, more insight into Vampiro and his journey. And I just hope everybody, sees another side to this. A father and a daughter and a story of family is really, really what's important for me. And
thanks a lot for your time. Yeah, I want to close it out differently. I want to close it out congratulating you. I enjoy the fact that you're a young man who took the time to prepare. I can tell you had your questions. I like your approach. I think you're doing really well as an interviewer. I like the fact that you're concise. You can understand what you're saying. You don't get intimidated and start and answering or asking questions because you think that's going to get you in good with the person you're interviewing. So you're doing really well. And if this is something you're going to continue to do, you're on the right track. My only advice to you is keep watching people who influence you and don't do what they do. Get influenced by them, but don't copy them. Right. See what you could do better your way. I think what you're doing is really, really good. And I enjoy to see a young person like yourself committed to something they like so much. So I hope that this interview with us helps you in your future interviews.
I greatly appreciate that, man. It's it's all love. I appreciate all the compliments and all the praise. It was great speaking with you guys. Just to wrap it up here, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Andrew Thompson and Andrew Thompson Interviews YouTube channel at postwrestling.com. This is Michael Paszt, Ian Hodgson, also known as Vampiro, as I said earlier, former WCW and AAA Tag Team Champion, and we are out. Peace.